Leon from Orpheus Omega. Welcome to Nightbreed. How are you, man?
Good man, good man. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Awesome. All right. So I guess we go back to the beginning. 2008. You form Orpheus. You guys put out your So It Begins EP the following year. What do you remember about those early days?
So the early days are interesting, at least from my perspective. I wasn't one of the founding members of Orpheus, so I was actually a big fan around the time So It Begins and Bleed the Way all kind of came out. And I remember going to one of the first Bleed the Way shows as like my first introduction to Orpheus. And I was absolutely blown away that this level of like musicality existed one suburb over. So I was like, oh my God, I need to be friends with these people and I need to, write music like these people. And I got incredibly inspired early on. So that's at least a bit of my understanding and history of the early days of Orpheus. So big, huge inspirations. And eventually one thing led to another. And now I'm a member of the band. So consider this a dream come true.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's really cool. So when did you join Orpheus? When did you get together with this?
I've been in Orpheus for about 2 years now.
Okay.
I've been big friends with the members of the band for maybe the last 3 or 4 years. I've done some recording at Chris, the guitarist and vocalist's studio, Monolith Studios, with previous bands and other little side projects I was working on X amount of years ago. I've played gigs with them years and years ago. I think the first gig I ever played with Orpheus as a support to them was about 10 years ago. And I remember I still had the poster sticking up on my bedroom wall. It was one of the biggest shows and the more fun shows we ever played years and years ago. So I was I'm super proud of this one. And then some, nothing gigs for ages. And then every once in a while a big one. So, but yeah, 2 years ago I joined, and yeah, it's just been a whole lot of fun ever since. Been doing some writing, doing some recording, doing a little bit of playing, and then lockdown happened. But yeah.
Cool. So I'm trying to figure out the timeline. So would you have done any of the Asian shows with Orpheus Omega?
Unfortunately not. But I've got all of their stories and I've heard everything about it. I unfortunately haven't. I've done Adelaide with them, I've done Ballarat with them, I've done Melbourne with them, and was planning to do Canberra and Sydney this weekend, or next weekend, but yeah, there's a bit. I don't think that one's happening anymore.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is there a chance you can reschedule that upcoming tour dates?
I think we're looking into potential options for that, but can't say yes or no until everything is kind of, written down and promoted.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So when you joined, how's the songwriting process and stuff? Have you got a little bit of input into how the sounds now and that sort of thing?
Yeah. So the first thing, actually, as soon as I joined the band, they were talking about writing a split EP full of pop punk covers, which we've just released now, called Korea Suicide, and it's alongside Melbourne legend band Triple Kill. And the first thing I did was, as soon as I joined the band, was, hey, help pick the final of the 3 songs we're doing, which was Green Day's Basket Case. And they went, Leon, you can write music, give this one a go. And I'm like, all right. So for anyone out there listening and has heard this EP, that's my first take at actually writing for Orpheus. So there you go. You get a little bit of my flavor and my influence into the band already out there. Now, we also have, all through COVID, maybe the first month of lockdown was a little bit sad because we missed out on some really big and important opportunities. But from probably May, June onwards, we, knuckled down and started getting into big writing mode. Well, you got to do something with your downtime. And being part of the future of Orpheus, I've had a bit of a heavy hand on helping write that one. So probably a good third to half of that album is heavily contributed to me, which is loads of fun. But I like our writing style. It's very collaborative. I'll come up with something, but I'll give it to someone else and I go, do everything you want to it to make it you and make it your style, and then they'll take it and play around with it and change it up, especially if I'm writing guitar for someone else. I don't play guitar in the band, but I can play guitar, so I'll give the opportunity to the guitarist to be like, oh, I want to change this, or Matt the drummer, oh, I want to change this, and make it their style, but I've at least helped and stoked to that fire, and then they can just take it on from there. So It's been fun. It's been very collaborative.
That's cool. When you're writing, like I'm guessing because you play live, you must have learnt all the old songs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does that sort of, I don't know, does that affect how you're writing? Like, are you kind of thinking about where it's going to fit in their band sound, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. So even some of my, like, whenever I've written stuff for Orpheus, I've always gone, this is what you know, so I'll write something in line with that. And they go, hey, what do you think? And I've actually had a couple of songs they've turned down, gone, nah, sounds too much like this album. Sounds too much like this album. And I've gone, ooh, maybe we don't want exactly what we've done in the past. So I've handed them stuff or written stuff that's different. And I'm like, oh, check out this song. It's more maybe genty, or yeah, have a listen to this one. It's very tech deathy. And they've gone, yep, this is what we wanted. I'm like, how is this what you wanted? This is your sound, and you've wanted something completely different. But then, once we churn it through the big Orpheus machine, Chris puts his lyrics on it, Kez puts his keyboards to it. Then I'm like, now it sounds like Orpheus. It sounds like it's got that signature sound, but it's different to everything we've written before. So it's cooler, and it's different, and it's new. So that's, I guess, somewhere where we're going with some of the new stuff.
Yeah, nice. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Going back to the EP that's just come out, I spoke to Triple Kill earlier in the year. That was cool. I spoke to Connor. But how did that first, like, the idea for it first come about? You two getting together and doing the pop punk covers?
I think because we'd already played one or two of our songs live before. Well, like around the time I was joining, they just played Prisoner of Society at a club in Melbourne, and we were having fun playing those pop punky kind of covers. And then over drinks with a couple of the Triple Kill members, we're like, how funny would it be if we did just an EP of these things? Just like a few, here are a couple of the songs. Oh man, that would kill our careers, wouldn't it? Maybe we should call it that. So that's why we've called it Career Suicide. And originally, we recorded this actually back in 2019. And the idea was to have this as a dual tour in mid-year 2020, so last year. And we were going to, potentially do a bit more of the East Coast and essentially just go around just playing the covers and not playing any of our metal stuff, or maybe a little bit of metal, but like the whole EP, just cover. And that would have been fun. But unfortunately, lockdown. So we instead ended up combining it with a celebration of Bleed the Way and its 10th anniversary. So we're like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do some covers at the same time? Turn it into one huge celebration, and people seem to really want this because we've just sold out Melbourne.
Yeah, nice. That's cool, man.
That's it.
Wow. The artwork for Career Suicide, it'd be familiar to anyone who grew up in the 90s, very Green Day.
Yeah.
How'd that come together?
Oh, we've got essentially a resident artist, Tristan. He has done a bunch of artwork for us. He did the cover for Wear Your Sins. He's done a bunch of promotional t-shirts and merch for Orpheus. I think I've got some somewhere in a box in the roof. If you've ever seen any of our old previous t-shirts, we've got a Lord of the Rings style one. And that was just all completely drawn up and designed by him. We've got Star Wars ones, Mortal Kombat ones. Anything that you've seen that is oh my god, that's super personal and kooky, and it's got all the Orpheus members floating around in it. Tristan's the guy. He's just very cartoony and caricature-y. And once we told him, hey, we love this dookie Green Day album, do you reckon you can do it with us? But all of us ourselves just killing each other because it's a dumb cover. So if you look closely, all of us Orpheus and Triple Kill members are all just plotted around in there, sticking forks in toasters and falling off buildings and running with scissors. I think I'm running with scissors in that one. And yeah, it's just kooky, and it's like, I think all we just wanted a bit of fun out of it, be less a bit, serious and heavy metal.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I can see why like you guys and Triple Kill going together, because they got the whole video game thing and stuff. That's cool, man. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. That was fun. It was heaps of fun, even recording our film clips together. So anyone who hasn't seen, we've done All the Small Things by Blink-182. They've done Stacey's Mum, and we've got a music video where we're actually both like in alternate realities with the budget to create a music video, while the other band are scientists trying to open a wormhole to get the other. It's confusing and dumb and funny, and we're all acting together, which is heaps of fun. We did them over a couple of weekends, and yeah, it's just fun being in the room with those guys. I remember we'd be filming, and one person be being filmed at a time in like the stage space. The rest of us would be behind the cameras having a chat, having a just gas bagging, and then Connor, who was filming it all, turns and goes, "Oi, Leon, you're up next." I'm like, "Do I have to? I was having a really good conversation about Halo or something fun." So yeah, just heaps of fun, those guys.
Oh, yeah. Talking about music videos, some metal bands don't really do them, but it's cool to see Orpheus has a few under your belt, which is neat. How'd they come together? Like, are you always using the same sort of production crew or anything like that?
So we have, in the past, we've used Kez, our keyboardist, who's got like a bit of media and film experience in his past, and we've also used Connor from Triple Kill, just kind of because they're local, they're friends of ours, so it's just really easy to be like, "Hey, we've booked a studio, can you come and film us for a bit?" And they're like, "Yep, no worries, we're on our way." So having one in the band, Kez, actually being able to go, "Oh, this is the vision, this is kind of what I want," is really handy. So Lighthouse with Nilo from Insomnium was actually filmed by Kez, and I think helped out by Connor, so it was a bit of a collaborative effort, and that was the first one at least I was in as part of the band, which was really cool and really fun. And then not long after that, we got to do these Triple Kill ones, and for these ones, I think we've gone with like the same studio, which is just a very black background. You can't really see what's going on, that kind of feel. But, we'll have a play with the next couple, see what else we can kind of think of and see what other stories or avenues we can kind of tell with this. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, nice. You're talking before about writing during lockdown and stuff. Whereabouts are you at before we get a new release or anything?
So we're in the process of like kind of tracking and kind of putting finishing touches, but like at this point I haven't even heard the songs in the last maybe like 3-4 months, but that's okay because it's a process. Yeah, we did a lot of the writing. I don't think we'll see any releasing within 2021, hopefully within the next year, but gotta look for the best time, best opportune moment, and we want to make it a big splash. We don't want it to be anything that's oh look, we released a CD and it doesn't do anything for us. We'd like to make it huge and make it reach as many people as possible, so we'll wait for the perfect time and the perfect moment, and then you'll hear from us. Everyone will hear from us.
Yeah, cool, man. That's great.
Yeah.
So the upcoming shows, the lineup's a little bit different from when that first album came out. Obviously, you're trying to emulate the same thing when you play those songs, but do you think there's a sort of a different feel or a different sound with different people playing?
Yeah. I definitely feel that with a lot of these songs, like with a lot of metal songs, I feel a lot of it comes down to the vocalist and the drums, I feel. So, and those two have remained consistent throughout the whole time. Even the lead guitarist with solos and melody lines, all of those are all held by Chris and Matt, the two brothers of Orpheus, and I don't think will be changing anytime soon, I hope. But they've got their sound, and they're very tight and down pat, and they haven't changed very much. Maybe Matt's gone a little bit technical and a bit more faster over his years, which is awesome. and Chris has definitely increased his range of what he can do vocally. Bleed the Way's all like 100% screamed, whereas now the guy takes, inspiration from pop sensations and Dua Lipa and Justin Bieber and all of those really good pop stars. And now with an extra couple of like members, it's more of a bit flair, a bit of extra, here's a little bit of extra spice, but it doesn't change a lot of the fundamentals. The groove is still there, the beat is still there. Me playing bass, I'm like, these notes and these runs will be really cool, but I don't feel it changes the song immensely. It's more just bit of spice, a little bit of like an extra 2% or an extra 5%, but I don't think it would change much more than that. So for anyone who does love Bleed the Way, you're getting the Bleed the Way experience. You're getting the core members, and Joao being one of the original members, Kez being, they're relatively from the start, and Chris and Matt being like the main heavy, probably chunk of the sound. You're definitely getting the Bleed the Way experience, which is really cool.
Awesome, man. Sweet. Well, look, thanks for your time, man, and hopefully those cancelled dates will eventually eventuate, But
I really hope so.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing what comes next as well, man. Thanks a lot, Cheers.
All right.
Yeah, you too, man.